Now let me say that there is some velocity vector. Magnetic field is basically in or along the x-axis. So let me say that this is my magnetic field. This is my magnetic field. If my magnetic field is here and I have a velocity vector which is somewhat making an angle with the magnetic field. Okay, pay attention. Magnetic field is along the x-axis. I have a velocity vector. Somewhere it is making a angle theta with the magnetic field. Now, mind you, this velocity vector is not going inside the plane. Okay, it is not going inside the plane. It is in the x and z axis here. X and z axis, the board, the plane of the board I'm talking about. The plane of the board. Is everyone understanding this? Velocity vector is in the plane of the board. Y axis is inside the board. That much you understand? Okay. Now, when we know that the velocity vector v, okay, is in x and z axis, which is basically the plane of this board, okay, what we have to understand is that there will be two components. Okay, we have studied how to take out components in vectors. So two components. So let's take the component of this velocity vector. Okay, so we will have the component in which direction, students? We'll have it in x-axis and z-axis. Yes or no? We'll have x-axis here. Okay, and we will have the velocity vector here in z-axis. Okay, x and z-axis. So I think my green color is not visible much, so I will use the blue color. So x-axis, and there is a z-axis, and this x and z-axis is basically the plane of this board. Y-axis is inside the board. Okay, so v, what is this going to be? This is going to be v parallel with respect to what? With respect to magnetic field. And this is going to be what? V perpendicular with respect to what? Magnetic field. Again, now we have already studied, students. We have already done this. What we have done is basically, let me just try to make this into a three-dimensional. Let me try to make it into a three-dimensional view. Let me give you a three-dimensional view just by slightly moving it. I slightly move the entire system, so it will look like this. It will look like this. For example, this will become my z-axis now. Okay, this is my y-axis. Same thing, but x-axis, instead of writing it like this, instead of doing it like this, I will bring it slightly down. Wait 1 minute. I try to bring it slightly downwards. Okay, so this is again my x, this is y, and this is z. So you can imagine that if my velocity vector is along x and z axis, v is like this, and it is in the x and z axis plane. It is, and then I have a magnetic field along the x axis like this. Okay, this is my magnetic field here like this. Then I already told you that we are taking the vectors, that is v perpendicular like this, v perpendicular, and we are going to have v parallel with respect to the magnetic field, v perpendicular with respect to the magnetic field again. And we have already studied, students, that because of a perpendicular relation between the velocity and the magnetic field, there is a deflection in the charge. We have already studied it. Where we have studied in this one, two-dimensional analysis which we had done yesterday, day before yesterday, that if I am taking a magnetic field inside the board and I take a charge, move it with a certain velocity, then I apply v cross b. V is inside the plane. V is perpendicular to the plane going upwards. Take your right hand, apply v cross b, you will get a force. You'll get a force. And what will happen is basically it will move in circular. It will move in a circular path. Similarly, students, here v is what? Perpendicular to the magnetic field. Similarly, here v perpendicular component, perpendicular to what? Magnetic field. These two are perpendicular, having a perpendicular relation. So there will be a movement of the charge, but this time in which plane it will be? It will be in which plane, students? It will be in y and z plane. Can you imagine that? It will be in y and z plane like this. Okay, so the charge is going to move like this, in this form. It is going to move in a circular form, but in which plane? It is moving in y and z plane. Inside, y is inside the plane, z is outside. So you can imagine z is inside basically. And if it is moving, students, like this, there is one more factor we need to consider. What is that factor, students? The factor here is that V perpendicular is making a circular path. Okay, we understand. But what is the effect of V parallel? What is the effect of the horizontal component of the velocity vector on the charge? Will it pull it? Will it pull it towards the x-axis? Yes or no? Will it pull it? So if this charge is basically moving in a circular path, okay, it is moving in a circular path due to what? Due to V perpendicular and due to magnetic field. But we are only considering V perpendicular and magnetic field. We have to also consider what? The horizontal component of the velocity vector, which I have put in green over here, and that is V parallel. So what is going to happen is the charge is also going to be moving forward with a certain velocity. Considering this to be velocity and not acceleration, okay, I'll tell you why. Okay, so what is going to happen is this charge is going to move forward. Wow, it's going to move forward. It's going to move forward. So can you imagine what we are getting? What is this result called? What is this called? What is this called, students? What is this called? Can everyone hear me?
Helix.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
So this is called helix. This is called helix. So V perpendicular and V parallel, basically two components of the velocity vector, is causing a movement, is causing a path which is in the form of a helix. It's in the form of a helix. So this is an important thing to understand. Motion of the particle will be in circular motion in y and z axis. It will be in circular motion in y and z axis, but because of the V parallel component, we will get a helix. So if this is understood, students, let me just get to some certain points here. Okay, let me just get to certain points here, that if we have the same thing, okay, if we have the same thing, in this case, if you can see a helix right here, and you can imagine, of course, I will just mention that the magnetic field is in this direction, students. Okay, magnetic field is in this direction. Then, students, the distance between two rotations here, the distance between two rotations is called pitch. What is it called? It's called pitch. It is basically the distance between two circular basically one circular rotation between one point to the other point. In fact, if I have to visualize this, if I have to show you this in terms of two-dimensional, in terms of 2D, it will come out to be what? It will come out to be, if you see it, if you try to plot it on a two-dimensional graph, what you will get? You will get a sine wave. You will get a sine wave. So it is approximately the same thing as the wavelength. It is same thing as the wavelength. So how do we calculate? What is it going to be? What is pitch? Is what? Pitch is basically the distance. Pitch is basically the distance between one point of the rotation to the end of that same rotation. Okay, it is a circular. It is one rotation. Okay, but the distance at which the point has traveled from in one rotation is called the pitch. Is called the pitch. So now what we need to understand is how do we calculate pitch? If I directly put the formula and tell you this is pitch, then you have to by heart. So we are not going to by heart. We are going to understand how do we find out pitch. Basically, you know, speed is equal to what? Speed is equal to distance upon time. If you know speed is equal to distance upon time, then distance is going to be equal to speed into time. Okay, but now listen, students, here speed is what? Here speed is, let's consider this to be in vector form. Okay, I'm just trying to explain you here. So if we understand that, then the speed here at which the circular motion is being caused to become a helix here in this x-axis direction is because of what? Is because of V parallel. It is because of V parallel. So instead of writing distance, we will write pitch. Okay, instead of writing distance, we will write pitch. Instead of writing speed, we will write V parallel, because V parallel component is causing it to move in a helix. And instead of T, we will write time period. Instead of T, we will write time period. So basically, this is the formula of pitch. Okay, pitch is simply V parallel into time. Okay, now we know what is time period equal to. What is the time period? Time taken to move from one point to the other point of the rotation. So we know that time period is equal to what? According to our circular motion, we have studied 2 pi upon omega, where omega is the angular frequency, and then we know that 2 pi omega is V by R. Substitute that value, you will get 2 pi R by V. If you know this much, then second thing we know that R is equal to what? R is equal to mv upon qb. R is equal to mv upon qb. Okay, substitute that value in time period where R, where we can see R, then you will get T is equal to what? You will get 2 pi m upon bq. You will get 2 pi m upon bq. So now we know that time period for basically the time taken from one point to travel to the other, to the end of the rotation, time period we know. The first and the second thing we know is that pitch is equal to V parallel. Please remember, it is not V perpendicular. By mistake, when you are calculating the pitch, if you take V perpendicular, then you are going to get a wrong answer. So this is important. Okay. Now if we know the time period and we know the formula of pitch, that is V parallel into time period, apply the formula, substitute this value of the time period in the formula pitch, and what will you get? You will get what? P is equal to V parallel, okay, into time period, that is 2 pi m upon bq. 2 pi m upon bq. Okay, this is how you calculate pitch. If you keep on solving problems with respect to this, of course these formulas will be by heart for you, but if suppose you forget it, then simply use the formula speed is equal to distance upon time. That way you will come to know what pitch is, and you know the time period in terms of circular motion. Simply substitute that value in place of time period and you will get this formula. So that is this is one important concept here. So okay, if this is understood, just simple summary here. Okay, tell me students, what will be the radius here? What will be r over here? R, basically this distance, what will it be equal to? Can anyone tell me radius? Can anyone tell me what is going to be the formula of radius here? Radius will be, okay, we know radius is equal to what? We know it is mb upon bq. mb upon bq. But students, listen to me. But which velocity? If I'm asking you the radius here, students please respond. If I'm asking you the radius here of this helix over here, if I'm asking you the radius of this helix, okay, and if you are viewing it, if you are here, right here, and you are viewing it in this direction, then you basically see a circle. So you know that there is going to be some radius r. So due to which component of velocity are we getting a circle, students? Due to which component are we getting? Are we getting because of V parallel or V perpendicular? Are we getting because of V parallel? Wrong answer. Okay, wrong answer. Why? Because V parallel is causing the motion in the forward direction. It is causing the motion in the forward direction. But what causes the circle? What causes the circle is V perpendicular. V perpendicular and magnetic field are at 90 degrees to each other, which is causing basically a circle in the YZ plane. Okay, it is V parallel, which is basically taking the circle and pushing it forward. It's taking the charge and pushing it forward. So now remember that R is going to be equal to M V perpendicular, please, V perpendicular upon BQ. These are important concepts. We also know that, now I don't need to keep explaining, that time period will be 2 pi m upon BQ, and we also know that pitch is equal to P is equal to what? P is equal to Where should I write it? Let me write it here. It should be in your memory. It should be in your memory. P is equal to what? 2 pi m, basically the formula of this time period itself, bq, okay, into the component which is causing the pitch, the component which is causing the pitch, and that is v parallel, v parallel. So I hope you understand what type of component is used in pitch and what type of component is used to calculate the radius of the helix. Okay, these two important these are very important concepts. So let's go on to some questions. Okay, let's go on to some questions. Okay, so has everyone understood this? Students, has everyone understood it? All this
Yes, sir.
concept? Okay, if this is, I have gone a little slow, but I hope each and every one of you have understood it. Okay, now listen. If electron, the question states, okay, first question, if an electron is having a velocity, let's say it is having a velocity 2I plus 3j cap. Okay, this is my velocity vector. So if an electron is having a velocity vector and is subjected to a magnetic field, is subjected to a magnetic field which is in 4k cap direction, then in that case you have to tell me whether, if I subject a particle, see, a magnetic field in 4k direction, velocity vector is given like this, then in that case, if that charged particle, if that particle, okay, is in this condition, if it is in this condition having some certain velocity in this magnetic field with this direction, then what will happen? Will the speed change? Or will the speed change? That is the question. Will the speed change? Will the direction change? Will the direction change? Or will both change? Will both of them change? So what do you think? Just give me your views here. I don't necessarily need the answer. I don't necessarily need your answer. I just want you to tell me, what do you think about this? He's telling that there is some magnetic field is 4k direction and velocity vector is it. First find out whether whether the magnetic field is perpendicular or what. Is it perpendicular? Is it perpendicular to the velocity vector? So for that, how will you know that? For that, how will you know it? Draw the graph. Simple. Just take a graph. Here, you've been given what? I, J, and K cap. So obviously, you know the graph is going to be in three-dimensional. It's going to be in three-dimensional, three dimensions. So you can draw a three-dimensional graph. Okay. So what is it going to be? X. You're going to have X. You're going to be Y. You're going to have Z. So if you know this, and you have been told that velocity vector is in which direction? I and j cap. Basically, it's going to be in between x and y cap. So you can say 2i 3j. Just plot that point. Okay, 2i 3j. In that case, the velocity vector is in this direction, v. Okay, this is my velocity, and my magnetic field here is in 4k direction, students. 4k is in which direction? Z axis. Yes or no? 4k is in z axis direction. So my magnetic
Yes,
field,
sir.
okay, my magnetic field, students, is in the z axis direction, is in z axis direction. This is my b. So now can you apply v cross b using a right hand rule, students? Apply right hand rule, nothing so difficult. Just take here y which is on the yx plane. It is a two-dimensional plane like this. It is just like this, and switch it towards the magnetic field, you're going towards the magnetic field. In that case, you can see v cross b is this side, v cross b is this side, v cross b, you're getting v cross b here. But I am talking about a electron, students. I am talking about a electron. So when I'm talking about a electron, students, the force will be in which direction? It will be in the opposite direction. It will be in the opposite direction. Force will be here. Okay, we have understood this part of it. Now we know that force is basically the relationship between what? Force is basically the relationship between what? Q, v cross b. You found out, you've been given velocity which is constant here, and you have been given magnetic field which is again constant here in this direction, and basically there's a charge. So what will change, students? Will the angle change? Will the speed of the particle change? What will change? The particle is having a force in some direction. So obviously we know that there will be some deflection. Okay. So basically your answer should be direction should change. what will happen? Direction will change. Your velocity, your charge was going like this, but because of the force, what happened? It went like this. That's it. Okay, so the angle, there's a force here, so the charge will move in this direction. If it was a positive, if I was talking about a positive q greater than 0, here I am talking about an electron. If it was positive in nature, students, the force would have been in downward direction, so it would have gone like this. That is how, this is one important concept. This is an important concept. Basically, you can separate electrons and basically negative charges and positive charges over here in this way. You can do that. Okay, let's go to our next question. Has everyone understood this? Clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Only one student is responding. Students, respond here. So if you all have got this, understood this, let's go to another question. Another question says that there is a beam of protons. What is it? There's a beam. Okay, beam of protons. BEM. Beam of protons. Okay. So with some velocity v, which is equal to 4 into 10 raised to 5 meter per second. 4 into 10 raised to 5 meter per second, and it is in a uniform magnetic field. Okay, it is in a uniform magnetic field of 0.3 Tesla. Okay, then at an angle theta equal to 60 degree. At an angle theta equal to 60 degree. So 60 degree between what? Velocity and magnetic field. So find the radius of the helical path. Find the radius of the helical path. Helical path. These are all important things which I have written on the board. And this is exactly how you should write down when you are reading a question. That is how you will generate the answer. Okay. So beam of protons are there. They are having some velocity which is given as 4 into 10 raised to 5 meter per second. They are having a magnetic field 0.3 Tesla. There is an angle between the velocity vector and magnetic field which is given 60 degrees. In that case, we know that there is some helical path being generated because the angle is not perpendicular to the magnetic field. The angle is basically some angle theta, which due to which v perpendicular, v parallel is being caused. Two components of the velocity vector is being caused because of this angle. In that case, there is a helical path being created, and in that case, I want to find out the radius of the helical path. Students, can we go ahead with this? Can you go ahead with this? Can you tell me what is going to be our approach?
Sir, we will find the component of velocity along the magnetic field.
Along the magnetic field. So you are telling me if we draw this like this, you are telling me that this is x, suppose this is y, and this is z, and there is some helical path here, and this is being caused because of suppose there's a velocity vector here v, this is magnetic field here, and you're telling me to find out the v parallel component. Is it v parallel component?
Yes, sir.
But v parallel component is the reason why the helix is being created. If I'm asking you what is the radius, then what you do?
V perpendicular.
Yeah, is that clear, students? That is the mistake we do everywhere. Even I do, no problem. So v parallel is the reason why this charge is going forward, but v perpendicular is the reason why this, first of all, why it is in circular motion. And if it is in circular motion, it is just simply a circle. In that case, if v perpendicular I find out, I can find out what the radius is. Students, so in that case, simply apply the formula. Simply apply the formula of the radius. That's it. R is equal to what? R is basically equal to m v perpendicular this time upon bq. Upon bq. In that case, students, we know that, okay, perpendicular, v perpendicular, how we'll find out? Is it given to us? No, we have to find out. So we can take the component of v perpendicular, that is v sine theta upon bq. Why sine theta? Why not cos theta? Cos theta will give us along the magnetic field. Sine theta will give us perpendicular to the magnetic field. Okay. So now apply the formula. What is the mass of the proton? Have I given it? I have not given it. You should draw it. So mass is what? 1.6 into
1.6 into 10 raised to minus 27.
minus 27 into velocity, which is perpendicular, 4 into 10 raised to 4 into 10 raised to 5 meters per second into sine theta. Sine theta is what? 60 degree. Sine 60 is what? Root 3 by 2. Root 3 by 2. So root 3 by 2 upon What is B given? Magnetic field is 0.3 Tesla into what is given? Q is given. Q is what? Charge of a proton, students, will be 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19. Now, along with this, you can even write the basically the units also. 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 27 kg, 4 into 10 raised to 5, what it is, meter per second. Okay, 0.3 Tesla. Ultimately, you're finding out the radius. Okay, what is important is meters. Every year, meters is given. So you will get the radius in terms of meters. Okay, that's important. So now, students, calculate this. How will you calculate this? Take all the terms, 1.6 here, 4 here, root 3 by 2 here. You know, root 3 is what? 1.7. Yes or no? 1.7 something. Whatever. And it is going to be 0.3, 1.6. Take 10 over here and just add everything. Minus, I hope you can see here. Minus 27 plus 5. Take the minus 19, which is down upwards. It will become plus 19. Students, calculate this. Come on. Calculate this.
10 raised to minus 4. Minus 3, sorry.
Calculate the entire thing.
1.15 into 10 raised to minus 2.
1.15 into 10 raised to minus 2. 1.15 into 10 raised to minus 2. Good, students. Good. Anyone else has got the answer? Simple. How will you do it? You can just multiply all the decimals with 10. You'll get 16, 3. Then again with 10, 16 and 1.7, make it 17. Okay, so ultimately what you'll get? R is equal to what? I'll write it on top. R is coming out to be 1.15 into 10 raised to minus 2. That is what you got, right?
Yes, sir.
10 raised to minus 2 meters. And you know 10 raised to minus 2 is what? Centimeters. So you can even avoid that. R is equal to 1.15 centimeter. Okay. So I hope everyone has understood this small. This is a plug and play, just a simple formula based question. Okay. Let's go to another question. Another question is, let's say, this is an easy one, students. Listen to me. A uniform electric field is there. Uniform magnetic field also is there. Okay, till now we were studying about magnetic field only. Let's mix electric field, our previous chapter, and our magnetic field also. This is a nice question. A uniform electric field and a uniform magnetic field are acting along the same direction. Okay, in a certain region. Both are there. They are in the same direction. So if an electron is projected along the direction of the field with certain velocity, then what will happen? That is the question. So basically they're telling my velocity vector is here of the charge particle. Let's say this is Q. My magnetic field is here, B, and my electric field also is here. So students, can you tell me the behavior of this charge because of these two fields? Can you tell me what is going to be the result? How much time we got? We got 7 minutes. Yeah, students. So my velocity vector is parallel to the magnetic field, and velocity vector also, all are parallel basically. All are parallel to each other. So can you tell me, forget electric field. What will be the effect of magnetic field on this charge? What will be the effect of magnetic field on this charge, students?
0.
Someone says 0. What else? Anyone is telling anything else? Any other responses?
So
Okay,
it will be
so
0.
It will be 0. Why it will be 0? Because basically, okay, you can see here that the angle between velocity vector and magnetic field is what? 0. Okay, if it is 0, you can even think of this formula here, Q V cross B, which is V B sine theta. And if theta is basically 0, your full force applied on this charge is going to be 0. So force due to magnetic field is going to be 0. But what will happen because of the electric field, students? What will happen because of the electric field? Just tell me your approach. What is it going? What do you think about it? There's an electric field. Okay, So the easiest way to think about this, easiest way
So
is
there will
as
be repulsion.
there will be repulsion, is it? So you're saying the charge will move away. No, charge will move away.
Sir,
Okay.
electron is moving, right?
No, positive charge is moving. It's a positive charge. Q. I'm not mentioned. I'm talking about a positive charge here. Okay, I'll consider the answer. You're saying that it will be repel. If it is some other charge, it will come attract. Okay. Maybe you're telling that. Students, the best way to understand this is to just simply think of how an electric field is created. How is an electric field created? Because of some positive charges here. Because of some negative charges here. I'm talking only about the electric field, students. So in that case, this charge is there, is a positive charge. What will happen because of these negative charges here? It will be attracted towards it. So basically,
Yes, sir.
students, listen to me. The charge will not deflect in any angle. The charge will remain as it is. But now the charge will accelerate. What will happen? The charge is going to have some acceleration, not even velocity. It will move. It will move slowly, increasing its speed towards the negative charges over here. Why? Because positive and negative charges basically attract each other. And when they attract each other, okay, they attract themselves with not velocity. They start coming to each other with some certain acceleration. Okay, so understand, when all these fields are parallel to each other, this is basically, we are coming to Lorentz force now. Students, listen to me. We are coming to a new concept here. Okay, when magnetic field and electric field are mixed, students, when magnetic field and electric field are mixed and they are parallel to each other, and there's a charge here which is also parallel to all the fields, in that case my magnetic field will have zero effect on this charge, but my electric field will have an effect on this charge, but not in terms of any deflection or in terms of any angle, but basically because of some certain acceleration, because electric field starts from positive charge and negative charge. Okay, and the positive charge will be attracted towards the negative charge. But students, if suppose I was talking about an electron, then would there be any acceleration? If Q is smaller than 0, students, if it is an electron here, then what will happen? It is I am already telling you, it is having some certain velocity here, v. It is moving with certain velocity, but as soon as the electric field starts to take its effect, what is going to happen? What will happen to the velocity, students?
It will decrease.
It will decrease. Okay, so that is the effect. Electron here, if it was an electron, positive charges will start to attract it towards this side. Although my velocity is this side, but velocity will start to decrease. In its magnitude. Why? Because of the positive force which is attracting the electron on the opposite side. So these are some behavioral aspects of electrons and protons. Okay. So if this is understood, students, okay, let's just revise. Since there are only 2 minutes, I don't want to start with a new concept here, but I just want to tell you again that it is something very easy. Okay, this is an x-axis, this is going to be my y-axis, and this is going to be my z-axis. Okay, students, if there is a velocity vector v here, okay, let's say this is x, y, and z. If there's a velocity v here, and it is having some angle here theta with the magnetic field, students, okay, velocity vector will be divided into two, that is v parallel and v perpendicular. V perpendicular and parallel with respect to what? Basically because of the magnetic field. In that case, students, okay, my charge will have, because of the v perpendicular only, it will have only one circle over here. Only one circle, because magnetic field is perpendicular to velocity. How will I find out whether it's moving anti-clockwise or clockwise? Just apply your right hand thumb rule. Be perpendicular to magnetic field. In that case, you will get a charge which is inside the plane. So my rotation will be clockwise. Okay. And now because of v parallel, this same circle will be taken forward. It will be taken forward. Okay. Then I told you that basically there will be, we found out some factors related to this. The factors were simple. We found out pitch. Pitch is equal to what? Speed is equal to distance upon time. Distance is equal to speed into time. Speed here is basically V perpendicular. Sorry, V parallel, because V parallel is causing it to move forward, and we are looking at the pitch. So we put V parallel here into time period T. T is given by 2 pi m upon BQ. Substitute that value over here, you will get in pitch, and so you will get P is equal to 2 pi m B upon BQ, which is similar to the time period, into V parallel. These are important factors. These are two different important factors of a helix. These are two important factors of a helix. Thank you, students, for joining in. Hope you have understood this topic very well. These topics come for your exams as well. Please practice questions on them. I'll see you in the next lecture. Bye, students.